Hey guys, welcome to Game 3 between Scout and Kyugdaru, aka Zety. Upper right hand corner we have Scout as the red Zerg, bottom left hand corner. We have Zety as the gray Zerg. This is going to be on Eclipse. Now keep in mind this is a 1v1 map. So both players are going to know precisely where their opponent is. Plus the Overlord, it changes the matchup a lot. Particularly because you know an Overlord's going to end up in your opponent's base for scouting information. And as a result, I almost feel like I'd have to talk to a skilled ZVZ player. Maybe I'll talk to Urbmon about this. I feel like on 2-player maps, 12th pool becomes more of the de facto sort of build. It's kind of the in-between one, right? The safer, or maybe even overpool. Overpools and 12 pools. 12 hatch feels like very risky, knowing that your opponent's going to be able to just get inside your base. And also, feels like the 4 pools, because like the median, basically there's a higher, when you know you're going to get a scout right off in the base with your Zerglings, feels like those median builds become more prevalent. Both players opting for 9 pool. So I was going to say like either 12 pool or 9 pool being standard, I guess. Both players opting for that, grabbing gas. So mirror builds for both players. So I believe in this situation what it's going to come down to is just pure micro versus micro. Little bit of a, I'm not sure how this happened. Scout sneaking in an additional drone a little bit earlier in his build overall. 3 drones. And I'm wondering if that was a mistake from Zety. Just a bit later. A little bit of a difference in build perhaps. He's got the initial 6 Zerglings building. Initial 6 Zerglings also building opposite side. The Overlords have passed each other about midpoint. Now the question is, okay, so here we're seeing that Zety is opting for layer first. Layer first, other corner of the map as well, rather than Zergling speed. So these initial 6 Zerglings and what they can accomplish could be the critical moments of this match. Moving midfield, Zety is going to get eyes on these Zerglings as they're coming across the map. Having a positional eye might be the difference. He's going to go ahead and back up. He knows he's up against 9 pool. And a mirror build. So perhaps just wants to hold the ramp, deny scouting information. In fact, if he hides a couple Zerglings sufficiently, he might even be able to convince Scout that he's in a different build. And actually, probably is convinced Scout overall, because oftentimes when you find Zerglings crossing mid-map like that, they meet at the midpoint. You know, okay, that was exact same build. But in this situation, you don't know whether that spawning pool came out a little bit later or not. You know, you knew it was some sort of early pool build, but you don't have definitive answers. Is that going to be enough to give Zety the match, though? Layer up for both players. Spire planted for Zety. Inspire in the back corner for Scout. Overlord floating overhead. So any informational advantage that might have happened there now being negated. That also forced, kind of on that backup, that also forced a little bit of additional Zerglings out earlier for Zety, which is going to give a slight economic lead. Critically here for Scout, he's supply blocked. Okay, just now getting another Overlord out. I don't know if that'll hurt him at all, though, because he is just saving up gas and minerals for the Spire. Additional Zerglings being produced here from Zety. And Scout needs to be careful. Second in-base hatchery, he needs to be careful getting Zergling speed to follow, because if Scout doesn't back these Zerglings out, they could very quickly get pounced on. Doing a nice initial damage here. Zergling speed not quite finished, but they are going to get caught midfield. One Zergling trying to distract and sacrifice, and actually backing out. Great play from Scout. Is going to be able to get in the base, maybe provide some disruption here, despite the lack of Zergling speed. Mutalisks being produced on both sides of the field. Scout trying to get a pincer attack in between. No, he's going to break off one of the groups of Zerglings. This Zergling in the main, forcing some additional Zerglings to be produced. trying to disrupt the gas production. The Zerglings have managed to get inside scout space on the opposite corner. Sunken Colony being forced as well. Drone drill, one drone down on that corner of the map. The Zerglings now moving back towards the main. The Mulisk grouping in, but Scout still finishing this off despite some mining disruption with a superior drone count. Second hatchery is going to be up, though, for Zety momentarily. And there's no second hatchery currently for Scout. That is going to be the difference in an early upgrade of Mulisk. But this is going to give superior larva count overall to Zety. So he's not only going to be able to produce Mulisks, he might be able to sneak a couple drones and even some Zerglings out underneath. 5 Mulisks versus 3 as an initial engagement point. Needs to be careful that he doesn't get run down. But diving in, is not able to pick off a drone. Trying to split the Mulisks up so he mitigates losses. Does mitigate losses a little bit. Trying to sweep back around to pin these Mulisks at home while he gets some defenses at home base. More Zerglings pouring in for Scout. The Mulisk continually getting hunted down by those Scourge. And the Mulisk's going to be able to get back to home base to clean these Zerglings up before they're really able to get anything accomplished for Scout. Zety in firm control of this match. More Mulisks being produced from Scout. Again behind in the overall larva match. He does have a handful of Scourge. He also actually somehow has a 1 drone lead. But the power of that additional hatchery is huge. Also, with air control, you can see Zety running around trying to fight additional overlords. If you can find this overlord, that would be a big win. Scout moving out with his Mulisks to the natural expansion, wants to try to defend, taking his natural. If he can get this up and hold it, while Zety micros around looking for overlords, might be able to sneak back into a overall lead. Zety going for the in-base hatchery. Again, I worry that he's falling to the same problem he ran into in game 1 here, where he's holding back. He now has 10 Mulisks in the air. Where he's basically sitting back and allowing Scout to maybe sneak back into this match. Both players sitting at 10 drones overall. 10 Mulisks flooding forward. It is a closer reinforcement point for Scout. It's going to come down to Scourge landing. Some additional Scourge landing right there. And it looks like Scout not able to micro versus the counter Scourge. Zety getting aggressive is probably going to win this now. Yeah, there's GG. Overwhelming amount of Mulisks off the double hatchery and larva production. Able to just scoot in, get the engagement. That's what I was looking for. And easily able to take game 3. Really, I feel like the key moment of this match was the moment where the Zergling, where the Overlord was scouted, where the Overlord scouted the Zerglings in the early portions of the map. Scout snuck back, boxed out the Zerglings comparatively, and then that additional hatchery, the in-base hatchery play. Well played. We're going to move into game 4 between these guys. Zety on the verge of a round of 4 berth.